'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through Zach's house not a phone call had come through, not even one from Joe House. The Ananobi talking points were pinned throughout the hall, in the hopes that the risen demon, Nick Nurse, would soon give him a call. Welcome to the Lowe household, where I was waiting to hear from you, Coach Nick. Well, I tried to do my best to boost the trade value, but it just seems like people these days, they're more interested in their Vorps and their Schnorps and their Rip'ems and their Bip'ems, and they just... Coach, they just don't seem to believe that Ananobi and Mitchell are worth similar value. Now, look, I understand, Coach. I mean, I wrote as much in my 10 Things column. But I'll try harder. Have a happy holiday season. Wish Asphodel and Mammon my best. Boy, oh boy. Not only did my Raptors or the Sleeping Giants in the East prediction fall flat on its face, but Croatia didn't even win the World Cup either. Oh boy. Maybe it just would have been better for everyone if I'd never been born at all.
Well, you know what they say, Zach Lowe. Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. That was something Elon Musk said recently, and I thought it was pretty poignant. Us angels, we take a lot of cues from Elon just because we see him as he's savior on earth. We've got our savior in the sky, so it's kind of same type of thing.
You'll have to excuse me because I'm feeling punchy today. So let me just ask, who the heck are you? And how did you get into my apartment?
Well, Zach, that's a pretty good question. And, as I said before, we're admirers of Elon Musk's. That's right, I'm an angel, sent here to show you the error of your ways in this Christmas holiday season. Angels are also Redditors. I don't know if you knew that, so, just when we get to the end of this, if you could just give me Reddit gold. That would be really helpful. Kind of help some of my posts get up there. I've been really, workshopping on some of them. So, that would just really help me out.
So, am I to understand that today, you, this angel, you have appeared before me to prognosticate, to illuminate? By the way, what is prognostication? What does that even mean? Have you ever seen someone prognosticate? It doesn't matter. Are you here to sort of do?
Okay. Well, Zach,
for lack of a better word, it's a wonderful life on me. Are you going to show me the error of my ways? Are you going to show me what I've
you're
missed
getting out ahead of yourself,
in my life and the impact that I've had on the world?
Zach! Good God, man. Gee, I know ESPN lets you guys talk, but good Lord. Look, I am going to show you the world, as, and some of your friends and what the world might look like without you, just to see if you really do want to, not be a part of this world. But, let's cool it with calling it the It's a Wonderful Life thing. I mean,
okay.
His family, the director,
that's
they're
my
very
fault.
litigious.
I understand.
We can't have that.
I understand.
Right now. So just let's cool it with that for a second.
Let's move on then. So how does this work? Are you going to show me the world? Are we going to warp into another world? Am I going to be shown sort of the awful world as it is?
Actually, we're already here, Zach. So why don't you open your window and take a look around?
When from outside Zach's window there arose such a clatter, Zach sprang from the angel to see what was the matter. Away to the window he flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. Boy, oh boy, what is this? Everyone's rioting. It looks like the the world is coming undone at the seams. What on earth could have caused this?
Well, Zach, I hate to be that guy, but in this world where you don't exist, the economy is stalled. Nobody has been able to grow their businesses with the help of Shopify. There's been no all-in-one platform for commerce. No one's been able to do SEO optimization without Shopify. Companies are struggling to hire people without ZipRecruiter, and people don't have haircuts without Supercuts, so they're definitely not getting hired at that point. Without those advertisers and those boutique sales, I mean, the world is just sort of fallen into chaos. Why are you smiling? You're smiling about this. Why is that?
Look, nobody wants to toot. I don't want to, toot my own horn about things that I'm right about, because, a lot of us were wrong about things a lot. So, you got to give and you get. But I've been saying it on this very podcast that the apocalypse was coming, and that nobody would use the 2029 picks, that those were fugazi. The Miami Heat had the right idea sending those all out. And now look, well, hold on. Let me ask you, is Miami underwater?
So Miami is underwater. Yes, that is correct.
Boom! Oh, boom! I told you. I told Bobby Marks. I told everyone that, you know what? How is Bobby Marks? Can we visit with Bobby?
Oh, Zach. Are you sure you want to see Bobby Marks? Because this might be a little bit upsetting for you, so I'm going to have to ask you to sit down before we go over there. So, without you to sort of, prod him along, help him to understand his limitations, Bobby Marks became president of the United States of America.
Well, that doesn't sound so bad. I mean, Bobby's a good friend of mine. I think that, he, I mean, I've worked with him. He does great work at ESPN. I think he's done, a phenomenal job.
Zach, you've got to remember, well, there's a piece of this that you have to understand. Shortly after Bobby was sworn in, aliens appeared in our atmosphere, and they came down to negotiate with world leaders. And Bobby Marks was the one leading the negotiations.
Oh boy, do I even wanna know?
I don't think you do, Zach. So basically, the way the negotiations went, they were figuring out how to divide up the solar system. And long story short, the humans, we've lost our rights to Earth. We now live on Mercury. It's been really bad for a lot of people with, pre-existing conditions. COVID's gotten a lot worse. I call it COVID. It's really just, people asphyxiating, exploding, and dying the second they step out of, the little colonies that the aliens have prepared for us. I mean, luckily that wasn't everyone. Bobby was just in charge of, the United States of America, which had splintered at that point. And so, there are some different parts of America that, were not affected. But, all of the Americans under Bobby Marks, now live on Mercury per a deal he made with the aliens. So, it's not ideal.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm not really looking to go to Mercury. So maybe we'll catch up with some of my other friends and colleagues. What you talk about how America split up? I'd like to go. How about Tennessee and Memphis in particular? Did they survive having to get sent to Mercury?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Zach, because actually Tennessee is under the jurisdiction of one of your other old friends. So no, they did not get sent to Mercury. They're actually their own country. I say country, but probably holding is more appropriate. Well, here, let's just go see an old friend of yours, someone you know very close. So let's go over there. Let's go see your old pal, Chris Vernon.
Oh my God! Wow! Ugh! Why this is Tennessee? Oh, it's so dusty, and there's bones everywhere, and oh man, are those war boys?
Hold on.
These guys,
you don't
this looks
call them
like
that.
another film that I've seen before.
It doesn't look like another film.
It looks like a little bit like Mad Max.
No. You can't say that. It looks post-apocalyptic. It looks like these people are using cars. And yes, that is your friend Chris Vernon. He is now Imperator Chris. However, this is not anything specific. It is not a specific movie. I want to make that very clear. Angels, Redditors, we don't, it's not anything. It's not a specific movie. So, let's just remember that. Here, look, Chris is getting ready to talk.
Welcome everyone back to the Blood Pits for another wonderful scrap. And look, I gotta tell you guys, this has just been awesome. I have seen warriors spill blood for some of the water that I control. And, let me just tell you guys, this is what it's all about. Grief. Good grief. He tore that guy's head clean off. Alright, let's move some of those corpses out of the way, because we've hit the main event now. I'm talking about the number one thing that everybody here has come to see, and that is for our champion. Here he comes. Our guy. You know him as the Slayer of the Desert. You know him as the blood-soaked warrior who has never known defeat in my blood pits. He has won himself 700 gallons of water over my time here in the Imperium. And I gotta say, good grief, he is also my partner, my number one guy. So give it up for the one, the only, Kevin O'Climber, Kevin O'Bomber, a.k.a. Kevin O'Killer, a.k.a. Kevin O'Eviscerate. That's right, it is Kevin O'Climber!
I gotta say, I didn't expect this from Chris. It just goes to show you, things happen fast in the NBA, and you really can't predict them, but I gotta say, I did not expect Chris to be the one leading blood fights for sport and to turn Kevin into a killer gladiator.
This is just what it is, Zach. Without you there to doubt the Grizzlies, Chris just became hyper-aggressive. And as, America fell apart without the guidance of Shopify to sort of lead the economy and their small businesses, Chris stepped up. He became Imperator of the Midwest, controlled all of the water, and, just sort of, that's what happens when you don't have anyone to sort of doubt grit and grind. You sort of find a way to create grit and grind yourself, in blood sport fashion. So, this is just something else that has happened, to some of your compatriots. Is that enough? Do we really need to keep going? I feel like this is pretty horrible.
Well, something? We've seen a lot of eye test guys, right? We've seen a lot of guys who understand the sport through a different lens. So what about some of my friends by the numbers? What about some of my friends who understood the numbers and how that sort of came to be? I bet they're doing a lot better in these circumstances.
Not at all. Not at all. Here, we'll go to another part of the fractured United States. We will go to the Chaz in the Pacific Northwest. The Chaz has come back, and it is going to cover the entire Pacific Northwest. So let's go see another one of your friends up there.
Wow. This is not what I had expected the Chaz to be like. I gotta be honest. Apocalypse. It seems like people could use some first round picks in these conditions. I just gotta say.
Well, I mean, look, Zach, we're in a bunker thousands of feet under the Chaz. I mean, once it became an autonomous zone, Skynet came online. You know, this is the forefront in the Pacific Northwest of the war of capitalism, you know, versus the remaining anarchists who survive in America. And we're here in the bunker, one of the Skynet bunkers, to sort of meet with another one of your friends who has sort of... Oh, look, here he is. He's popping up on the screen right now.
What? I was going to kill you, but it seems like it is my old friend Zach. Zach, how are you? It's me. It's Kevin Pelton. How are you?
Boy, Kevin, it's good to see a friendly face being normal for once. I mean, I have been all over. I'm sort of starting to get my head wrapped around this. Hold on, wait. I thought that you said that we were in a different dimension where I wasn't born yet?
So that's completely true. I'm a little confused as to how Kevin actually knows who you are and like what you're all about, to be honest.
Well, it's actually quite simple. I've run several regressions. I've used a couple of EPMs using my projection systems for different realities. I've accounted for many of them where I've made friends, and one of my dearest and closest in one of these alternate realities is Zach. This is always how I've kind of pictured him looking, and I'd hoped that one day we might get a chance to go to a Kraken or a Mariners game together. To be honest,
well, this is great. See, this is why I bring you in, KP, because you're the guy with all of the numbers. You can crunch the Bippums, the Rippums, the Vorps, the Snorps, the LeBron, the Raptor, all of these different regressions. And, you know, you are one of my only friends who I know could whole cloth invent, my existence into a reality where it otherwise hasn't been. So I really that means a lot to me.
So I just want to be clear, because I feel like you're not really grasping this. So your friend Kevin Pelton, he has forsaken his humanity. He has sort of merged with the hive mind of the Skynet. So now he's actually a sub-programming, algorithm that is responsible for, identifying which of the, in their words, meat space humans in the Chaz are useful and can be used to be converted to biotic batteries. So that's something that your friend Kevin Pelton is doing right now. I know it's exciting that he recognized you, but I want to be clear that is what's happening right here.
So let me step in here for a moment, because I want to make some of this perfectly clear. So one of my things that I've often been working at, back to my flesh and blood days at ESPN before the great falling and merging, when I got the opportunity to sort of join Skynet and sort of carry over some of my work over there. I was I've always been fascinated with turning human beings into numbers, and Zach, I think you understand this about how nice and neat human beings look on a spreadsheet when you break them down to their core essences, when you find the numbers that really recognize who they are, and you can just sort of flatten them into exact values. And that's something that's always been exciting for me. And what Skynet represents is a chance for me to finally do that. So, I feel like Zach will understand why I've made this leap.
I mean, you nailed it, KP. I mean, this is what we want to know. You're like, there's only so much you can get from the eye test. And look, the numbers, the spreadsheets, they aren't everything. I'm sure a lot of the T800s and T1000s have to do, recon work with some of your, real plus minus is, coming back with which of the survivors they want to target for capture to turn into biotic batteries. You've got to get the eye test involved sometimes. But, hey, look, the numbers are the numbers for a reason. And, I'm just so excited for you, KP. So you're at Skynet now. That's great. Do you have anything else that you want to plug before we get out of here?
I mean, I have been working on, a couple of new projects. I've actually been able to wipe away the neuron data of, some of the anarchists that we've captured. And, we're able to sort of, reformat and, sort of give them a new brain, something new to work on. And what we're hoping is that eventually we can actually save the world by bringing back, Shopify's algorithm, which is something that was, lost in the Great Collapse. So we're hoping that we can, connect people, across platforms to really help with their shopping experience and, ultimately save the planet.
Well, that sounds pretty terrible to me. Zach, I gotta say, this is good to you. This is just another thing where you seem to think that your friend is better off without you, despite the fact that he's become an unholy amalgamation of technology that is literally harvesting human beings.
I mean, as long as he was able to get a hold of Tim and Brian and, other Tim McMahon.
Yes,
and
I've gotten all three of them.
Capture their essence in a server for all time, where their
That's exactly what I've done,
AIs built off of their bodies are constantly recording Hoop Collective things.
This is exactly what's
I think
happening.
that this is good for ESPN. I mean, it sounds like they haven't quite gotten Perk and Swagoo yet, but
we are getting very close.
Hoping.
We are getting very close to them. It won't be much longer now.
Well, I've got to say this is extremely disappointing. This is not how I expected this to go. I don't think I'll be getting Reddit Gold anytime soon. If this is how this is going to continue. So, okay, boy. Well, I've got one more that I'd like to show you. This is probably the most important person to you in media. So, I mean, if what this man has become doesn't change your mind, I'm not really sure what will.
Okay, yeah. Let's go. Let's go see this last one.
Okay, so here we are. We're back. You'll notice that we're back to the rioting again. That's just because that's how New York and California are now. This is, I wasn't being entirely truthful with you before, because there actually is one more reason besides people not being able to integrate their selling platforms with Shopify that led to the fall of the California and New York.
So what was that then? If you don't mind me asking.
Well, it's crime. Quite frankly, crime has just gotten out of hand. It started in California, simply enough. People laughed off, people robbing CVS's, taking supplies from CVS's, and that's how it started. But, one big difference from your reality was there was no security in this new world. To get that. So here, let's just go to the studio of one of the number one shows in California, and that, of course, is the Incel, Hentai, and Porn Star Hour.
Welcome to the Incel and Hentai Porn Star Hour, only on Crunchyroll Audio. We got a great guest for you today. We got a lot going on. We're gonna bring in Cousin Sal, and he's gonna do, guest the porn stars with us. We've got a bunch of other things going on elsewhere in my podcast network. We're gonna be reviewing all of the top Code Geass-based Rule 34 reviews, and we're also gonna be taking a little bit of a time to review Iger. He's back, boys. Iger is back. You can hear my kitty in the background, because I don't have a family right now, but that's alright, because I do have some 2D waifus. I've got Mikasa, I've got Cece, and I've got Winry Rockbell. So, we're gonna get the episode started here in just a second, but first, that's right, kitty, it's Yumi Sakanawa. Whoa, this is a little upsetting. I mean, I don't... why is Bill Simmons now anime and hentai porn guy? That doesn't really make a lot of sense. He was always the sports guy, even before he met me.
Well, that's just it, Zach. The destruction of Grantland really did a blow to him. You know, without your expert basketball knowledge, Grantland went under way, way earlier. And Bill, well, he just gave up on sports. And he moved on to the only thing that, you know, he could learn a lot about from the internet outside of sports and post and argue with people online about. And that, of course, is anime, waifus, and porn stars. So, with that in mind, Bill actually probably became, well, actually, he's actually a little bit more popular than he is in your timeline. But, you know, we kind of have to ask ourselves at what cost that is. So, I mean, he's going to start his show here. I mean, do you want to listen in, or?
Alright, I love that song every time. Reminds me of my friend Joe House, who tragically died when I brought him to Comic-Con, and he was destroyed by a bunch of Connors in, Titan outfits. So rest in peace, Joe House. I miss you every day, buddy. Looks like we've got two people outside here. I hope it's not those bastards from Simply Safe trying to come back in and get me to advertise with them again, because I won't do it. Simply Safe and anime simply
take
do
it
not
easy,
mix.
Bill.
Simply do not mix.
Take it easy, Bill. You might not remember me, but I'm an old friend of yours. My name is Zach Lowe. We talked basketball for a while. We would do home and homes on each other's podcasts. Do you not? I guess you don't even remember me, but it's jarring for you to not remember
hold
me.
Hold on. I do remember you. I remember you. You're the fella I had on when we did our official Redraftables Porn Star Edition for the 2013 Porn Star Draft. You were that guy who took me and Malkova #1 overall. #1. That was crazy. That was way too high, if you ask me. Sorry. Well, this vaping is really hard on me. But, yeah, well, I will prove you wrong. I will prove that Lana Rhodes and Remy LaCroix were superior in that draft.
Hold on, Bill. That's not... That wasn't me. What is wrong with him? Why is he... What was all that stuff he was saying about Simply Safe before, too? I mean, this is pretty upsetting.
Well, Bill blamed Simply Safe for being the reason that Grantland went under, and so he no longer advertised with them. Now, without millions of Americans finding out about Simply Safe's products, people in the suburbs just sort of trusted each other to not steal each other's packages or get into petty lawn agreements. And, you know, without cameras monitoring the street, well, crime started and got really bad at the place where we all knew it would get the worst. That's right, the suburbs, particularly the California suburbs. And it was awful, and that is what led to the riots you see here today, Zach. So what do you think now? Are you really sure that the world is better off without you?
Well, let me ask my friend Bill this, because I want to be sure of something first before I make my decision. Bill, are you happy with your life right now?
Well, Guy, even though you had some pretty bad ideas about porn stars, I gotta say, I love being a part of the anime community. They're really good at arguing about things, they're great at defending rich people, and first of all, they've got all sorts of numbers and stats on the My Anime list for aggregating and deciding what the greatest anime of all time is. I wrote my book, The Book of Anime, and in the Book of Anime, I propose that we do a pyramid style. I have a pantheon with a top 12 anime of all time. Of course, there is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, not the normal Full Metal Alchemist, because that's bullshit. They didn't even know how the shonen was going to end at that point. So it is a useless thing, but I'm sorry, I'm getting off track. To answer your question, yes, me and my friend Ryan Russillo are very happy. As soon as he is released on bail, we are going to continue with what we have been working on here at the Incel Porn and Anime Hour.
Well, there you have it, Angel. I mean, if my friend Bill is happy, I mean, who am I to get in the way of that? I mean, that's just something that I'm willing to do.
Wow. That's really touching, Zach. I mean, I can't say I agree with your decision, and I don't understand how you could possibly see any of the options I've showed you as something positive. But I mean, I guess I really do respect that you are willing to cast yourself into oblivion, for the sake of your friends. I think that's, pretty admirable. And, I think that you'd shown that loyalty before, to the Toronto Raptors organization. It's a shame that they don't exist anymore.
Wait, what? What did you say?
Well, the Toronto Raptors, Zach, they don't exist anymore. I mean, Bobby Marks traded them to Mercury and they promptly disbanded. So, in this world, there's no Toronto Raptors anymore.
Oh no, that can't be real. Who's 30th in the league and wins the turnover battles and plays 6-man rotations? No. There's got to be someone. There's got to be a team in this world that's willing to play the grossest brand of basketball you've ever seen, right? I mean, tell me someone's playing gross basketball.
I'm sorry, Zach. There's just no easy way for me to tell you this, but all the teams in the league are pretty watchable.
No. Okay, you win. I can't let the world not have the Raptors. I get it. You win. I want to go back. I want my life back. I want it to be Christmas. I want to talk to Bobby Marks. I want to talk with Bill Simmons. I want to talk with Kevin and KB. I want to talk about the Raptors. Oh, what a horrible nightmare. Oh, to think I had something like that so close to Christmas. To think that before I went to bed this night, I was actually thinking the world might be better without me in it. But now I, Zach Lowe, have learned the real meaning of Christmas. It's giving the gift of unwatchable basketball. It's wanting to spread the word that other teams can have OG Anunoby's lack of shooting on their squad for the low price of 4 draft picks. It's to tell everyone that a team 6 games under 500 and with 7 rotation players is the sleeping giants in the East. Yes, the true meaning of Christmas is to aid and abet the organization, the Toronto Raptors, and maybe even the Miami Heat, when I get a chance in a podcast. So thank you, Angel, for showing me the true meaning of a low post Christmas. And I heard Zach exclaim as he wrote his column into the night. Happy Christmas to all. It's time to lie about Canadians being polite. Happy holidays, everyone, from the You Know Ball podcast family.